Every single day, millions of people wake up with big dreams and then scroll them away. They trade hours for nothing. They say, tomorrow I'll start, but tomorrow never comes. The truth. The graveyard is full of people who thought they had more time. Time is the most valuable resource every human being owns. Yet it is the one we waste the most carelessly. Money, success, fame, all of these can be regained once lost, but time can never be reclaimed. Every second that passes is gone forever, never to return, no matter how much you beg, pay, or pray for it. That is why time is not just a currency, it's life itself. Each tick of the clock represents a heartbeat, a chance, a decision. But most people live as if they've been promised eternity. They say, I'll start tomorrow, not realizing that tomorrow is just a mirage. You don't have an unlimited balance of time. Every sunrise quietly withdraws a little more from your life's account. The tragedy is that most realize this truth only when the balance hits zero. Look around. People spend hours every day on distractions that bring no value to their lives. Endless scrolling, gossiping, complaining, binge watching, all are disguised thieves of purpose. These are the small habits that silently waste the biggest gift you've ever been given. It's not that people don't have time, it's that they don't value time. The difference between those who achieve and those who regret isn't intelligence or luck. It's how they spend their hours. Successful people understand that time is an asset. They invest it wisely in learning, growing, and creating. The unsuccessful spend it like loose change on moments that don't matter. You can't expect a wealthy future if you're bankrupting your hours in the present. The harsh truth is that every minute you waste is one step further away from the life you want. Imagine if time had a price tag. You'd guard it like treasure. But because it comes free, people treat it cheaply. Yet, in the end, it will cost you everything. Every movie you watch to kill time, every day you procrastinate, every moment you choose comfort over growth, it all adds up. One day, you'll wake up realizing that your dreams didn't die because they were impossible. They died because you ran out of time. Time doesn't wait for anyone. It keeps moving quietly, indifferently. It doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care about your excuses. It just moves. And you either move with it or get left behind. What separates doers from dreamers is their relationship with time. Dreamers say, "Summer day, I'll do it." Doers say, "Today is the day." Every great achievement in history started with a decision made now. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. When you understand the value of a single hour, you stop wasting days. When you realize that an ordinary day can become extraordinary through focus and effort, you begin to treat time like the sacred currency it is. Winners are not people who have more time. They simply use theirs better. They wake up with intention, they plan with purpose, and they execute with discipline. They know every tick of the clock is an opportunity to build something meaningful. You might think you're too young to worry about time, that you have decades ahead. But time doesn't measure itself in years. It measures itself in moments of action. You could live 80 years and still waste a lifetime if you spend it waiting, doubting, and hesitating. On the other hand, someone can live 30 years and change the world because they understood the power of now. The value of time isn't in its length, it's in its use. That's why the most successful people are not always the oldest, richest, or smartest. They're simply the most intentional. They don't let distractions decide their direction. They build their days around what matters most. And when the world sleeps, they're working quietly on their craft, their dreams, their vision. The next time you're tempted to waste an hour, think about what that hour could become. It could be the chapter of your first book, the plan for your first business, or the start of your fitness journey. Time doesn't need to be grand to be valuable. It just needs to be used. Every second invested in yourself multiplies over time. But every second wasted becomes a seed of regret. People always say, "I don't have time." But the truth is, you have exactly the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference lies in how you choose to spend them. If you treat time like it's infinite, you'll end up with nothing. But if you treat it like it's scarce, you'll create abundance. So start today. Protect your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Say no to distractions. Say yes to discipline. Cut out what drains your energy and invest in what builds your future. Time doesn't owe you anything, but you owe everything to time. The moment you truly understand that every passing minute is a piece of your life you'll never get back, your priorities will change. You'll stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. Because once you lose time, you lose the foundation of everything. Your dreams, your opportunities, your growth. And remember, this time is not just a clock on the wall. It's a mirror reflecting how much of your potential you've truly respected. Excuses are the most costly lies we tell ourselves. And the worst part is, they sound reasonable. We convince ourselves that we're too busy, too tired, too late, or not ready yet. But what we're really doing is trading progress for comfort. Every excuse you make is a wall built between you and your future. You might think that failing is painful, but the truth is, excuses are far more dangerous because they make you feel safe while you're stuck. Failure moves you forward. Excuses keep you exactly where you are. You can recover from a failure. You learn, you grow, you rebuild. But you can't recover the time lost making excuses. Every "I can't," every "maybe later," every "it's not the right time," it all adds up into years of nothing. The mind is a master negotiator. It will convince you to stay still when you should move. It will whisper, "You deserve a break," when what you really deserve is a breakthrough. It will tell you, "You're not ready," when readiness only comes through action. Excuses are clever. They disguise themselves as logic. But if you look closely, you'll realize they're made of fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. People don't stop because they're incapable. They stop because their excuses sound louder than their goals. Success requires you to silence that voice, the one that's always finding reasons to delay your dreams. The world rewards effort, not explanations. No one remembers the person who said, "I almost tried." The world remembers the one who did. Failure has a value. It teaches, shapes, and builds resilience. Excuses teach you nothing. They cost you your potential without giving anything in return. Think about it. When was the last time an excuse made you proud? Never. It may bring temporary relief, but it also leaves permanent regret. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more times than you can imagine. But they didn't let their excuses win. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It's the path to it. Excuses are the real enemy, not failure. Failure says, "Try again." Excuses say, "Don't bother." And while you're sitting there justifying your inaction, someone else is using that same time to learn, adapt, and win. Excuses are also contagious. When you make one, it becomes easier to make another. You justify one missed day, then another, until it becomes a habit. Soon, you're not even trying anymore. You're just explaining why you can't. It's like a virus that kills ambition slowly, quietly, without you even noticing. You begin to believe your own reasons, and before long, mediocrity feels normal. But here's the truth. Your life doesn't change because you hope for it. It changes when you take responsibility. The moment you stop making excuses, you start making progress. The hardest thing to do is to look in the mirror and admit, "It's my fault." But that's also the most powerful thing you can do. Because the moment you accept responsibility, you take back control. Excuses are expensive because they cost you time, opportunity, and confidence. Every excuse steals a piece of your belief in yourself. The more you justify inaction, the more powerless you feel. That's why some people never even start. They've convinced themselves that they can't win, so they don't play. But remember this, no one who ever achieved greatness started with perfect conditions. They all began with imperfect plans, limited resources, and plenty of uncertainty. The difference, they started anyway. The ones who make excuses spend their lives watching others succeed. The ones who take action spend their lives creating success. You can't have both. Either you have excuses or you have results. And let's be honest, failure hurts, but not as much as regret. Regret is the pain that stays forever. You can fix a failure. You can't fix the time you lost avoiding it. Excuses give you temporary comfort, but they charge you permanent regret. So the next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't have time," remember that everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference lies in what you prioritize. If you say, "I can't," what you really mean is, "I won't." Because when something truly matters to you, you find a way, not an excuse. The people who win in life aren't necessarily smarter or luckier. They're simply more honest with themselves. They stop blaming circumstances and start creating opportunities. You don't need more motivation, you need more ownership. Stop saying, "I'll do it when I'm ready." Start now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no such thing. The perfect moment is when you decide to take action. Life doesn't reward those who talk about what they'll do. It rewards those who actually do it. Excuses are the language of average. Discipline is the language of success. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you move one step closer to your dream. And every time you give in to excuses, you take a step back. It's that simple. The only question is, how much longer are you willing to pay the price for the things you keep postponing? The difference between the person you are and the person you want to be is hidden in the excuses you keep making. If you can eliminate those, everything changes. You'll start to see time differently. You'll start to use your energy wisely. And most importantly, you'll start believing that your dreams are possible again. Excuses are easy. Anyone can make them. But greatness demands effort, accountability, and action. If you want to change your life, start by changing your vocabulary. Replace "I can't" with "I will." Replace "I don't have time" with "I'll make time." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm getting ready." The world doesn't need more dreamers, it needs more doers. And doers don't make excuses, they make history. Comfort feels safe, it feels warm, familiar, and harmless. But what most people don't realize is that comfort is a silent trap. It doesn't destroy you overnight. It destroys you slowly, quietly, and gently. It tells you you deserve a rest even when you've done nothing to earn it. It convinces you that tomorrow will be easier, that next week will be better, that one day you'll have more energy, more time, more motivation. But that day never comes. Comfort is the biggest thief of time because it steals your hunger before you even realize it. You don't see the damage while it's happening. You just wake up one day and realize you've been standing still for years while the world kept moving forward without you. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they get too comfortable. They find a routine, a little security, a small win, and then they stop growing. They tell themselves, "This is enough." But growth doesn't live in comfort. Every time you avoid something difficult, you choose to stay average. Every time you choose the easy way out, you reject the person you could become. Life rewards effort, not ease. The moment you start prioritizing comfort over challenge, you stop evolving. The truth is, comfort and success cannot coexist. One demands rest, the other demands resilience. The person who chooses comfort today will envy the person who chose struggle tomorrow. Think about it. When was the last time you truly felt alive? It wasn't when you were comfortable. It was when you were challenged, when you were nervous before trying something new, when you pushed yourself past your limits, when you fought through fear and came out stronger on the other side. Growth never comes from comfort, it comes from discomfort. It comes from doing the things that scare you, confuse you, and stretch you. Every great achiever understands this. They've learned to be comfortable, being uncomfortable. They use discomfort as a compass. If something feels hard, they know they're heading in the right direction. The rest of the world spends years avoiding pain, but the successful ones transform that pain into power. Comfort gives you the illusion of peace, but it secretly robs you of purpose. You tell yourself you're taking a break, but that break becomes a habit. Then that habit becomes your life. You start accepting less from yourself. You stop dreaming big. You settle. You convince yourself that it's fine, even when it's not. Comfort slowly erases your ambition, your courage, and your edge. It turns warriors into wanderers, people who move through life without direction or urgency. That's why so many people feel empty even though they have everything they thought they wanted. They're surrounded by comfort, but they're starving for challenge. They've built a life that's easy to live in, but hard to feel proud of. If you want to change your life, you must first declare war on your comfort zone, because comfort will not only waste your time, it will waste your potential. Every day you stay comfortable, someone else is out there getting stronger, smarter, and sharper. They're reading, learning, creating, experimenting. And when opportunity arrives, they're ready. You won't be. That's what comfort does. It blinds you to your own stagnation. You don't even realize you're falling behind until it's too late. The worst feeling in the world isn't losing. It's knowing you could have done more, but didn't because comfort convinced you not to try. The people who win in life aren't necessarily more gifted. They're just more willing to endure discomfort. Comfort is deceptive because it often hides behind good intentions. You say, I'll rest for a while, but that while becomes weeks. You say, I'll start when I feel ready, but readiness never arrives. You say, I'm not in the mood today, but one day turns into a pattern. Comfort gives you excuses that sound reasonable, and that's what makes it so dangerous. It's not like failure, which hits you hard and forces you to act. Comfort doesn't hit, it hugs. It makes you feel safe while it quietly drains your time, energy, and ambition. If you want to win, you must learn to reject that false safety. You must learn to push yourself when you least feel like it. Because discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to do it. The people who achieve greatness all share one trait. They chase discomfort. They understand that struggle builds strength. They know that failure builds wisdom. They realize that progress demands pain. They don't avoid challenges. They seek them. They use discomfort as fuel. When something scares them, they take it as a sign to move toward it, not away. Because they know every step outside the comfort zone is a step toward their best self. Comfort may feel good today, but growth will feel better tomorrow. Every hour you spend challenging yourself is an investment in your future self. Every hour you spend avoiding difficulty is a withdrawal from your potential. So the next time you feel tempted to stay comfortable, remember what it's costing you. You might not feel the pain today, but you will feel the regret tomorrow. You'll see someone living the life you wanted and realize that the only difference was that they were willing to be uncomfortable when you weren't. Comfort is not your friend, it's your silent enemy. It doesn't attack loudly. It whispers softly, relax, you've done enough. But you haven't. You have more inside you, more strength, more ideas, more potential. Don't let comfort steal that from you. Discomfort is not punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge you face now is shaping you for something greater. Everyone wants a big life, success, freedom, respect, happiness. But very few understand that greatness is not built in a single moment of inspiration. It's built in the quiet repetition of small habits. The truth is, you don't need to change your whole life in one day. You just need to change what you do every day. The smallest actions, done consistently, will always beat the biggest intentions left undone. Success is not about making giant leaps once a year. It's about taking small steps every day in the same direction. Those steps don't look impressive. They don't go viral, and they don't get applause. But over time, they compound into something powerful. Big results come from small routines that most people underestimate. Every single day, you are either improving your life or wasting it. There is no in between. The books you read, the people you talk to, the things you watch, the habits you repeat, they are all shaping your future quietly. The difference between an ordinary person and an extraordinary one is often just 1 hour a day. 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of building, 1 hour of discipline. But most people trade that 1 hour for comfort, distraction, or entertainment. They scroll, they gossip, they delay. Then they look back and wonder why nothing changed. The truth is, your habits are your destiny. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. Every habit you form is a vote for the person you want to become, or the person you're settling to be. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, not the results, the process. You'll find discipline. You'll find structure. You'll find small, unexciting actions repeated over time. The athlete who trains daily, even when no one is watching. The writer who writes 1 page every morning before sunrise. The entrepreneur who learns something new every night, while others are scrolling through their phones. These are not dramatic acts of brilliance. They're ordinary habits performed with extraordinary consistency. You don't need talent to form habits. You need discipline, patience, and belief. Because in the beginning, your habits don't seem to make a difference. You won't see instant results. And that's where most people quit. Not because it doesn't work, but because it doesn't work fast enough. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. Everyone wants success like it's fast food, quick, cheap, and easy. But real success is more like planting a tree. You don't see growth the day you plant the seed. You water it, nurture it, and protect it from storms day after day before it finally breaks through the soil. And once it does, it grows stronger every day. That's how habits work. The first few weeks feel useless. You'll doubt yourself. You'll wonder if it's worth it. But those small actions are building invisible strength. One day, all those invisible efforts will become visible success. You can't cheat consistency. You can't rush growth. You can only commit to showing up every single day, especially when it's boring, hard, or thankless. Small daily habits also build something far more important than results. They build identity. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you send a message to your brain. I'm the kind of person who does what they say they'll do. Over time, that belief becomes your strength. The opposite is also true. Every time you break a commitment, you teach your brain that your word doesn't matter. That's why success begins with small wins. Wake up when you said you would. Read 1 page a day. Work out for 10 minutes. Save a little money. Build the habit of doing small things with consistency, and soon you'll find yourself capable of doing great things naturally. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you become through repeated discipline. The secret is not in intensity, it's in consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day, but few can show up daily when no one's clapping. It's easy to be motivated for a week, but discipline is what keeps you going for years. Habits make hard things automatic. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. It's a habit. Imagine if reading, saving, or working out became just as automatic. That's the power of repetition. You train your brain to do things without resistance. That's how extraordinary lives are built, through ordinary routines repeated relentlessly. Success is never about doing more. It's about doing what matters consistently. Most people wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Habits are permanent. Motivation starts the engine. Habits keep it running. The problem is people quit too early. They expect quick results, and when they don't see them, they assume they've failed. But that's not failure. That's the phase of growth where patience is tested. Remember, big changes always begin quietly. When you're building habits, you're laying a foundation. And foundations are built underground, invisible, but essential. The stronger your foundation, the taller your success will rise. So don't get discouraged when progress feels slow. Every drop fills the ocean. Every step builds momentum. In the end, success is not one big decision. It's 1,000 small ones. The decision to get up early. The decision to study instead of scroll. The decision to keep going when it's hard. Those choices, repeated daily, create unstoppable momentum. Don't wait for a miracle. Build one with your habits, because what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Small habits don't just create success, they create discipline, confidence, and character. And those 3 things are the real foundation of greatness. You can't control the future, but you can control your habits. And your habits will control your future. We live in a world where everyone is watching everyone else. Every scroll, every post, every like. It's all a window into someone's highlight reel. And without even realizing it, we start comparing our behind the scenes with their best moments. We look at someone else's success and begin to doubt our own journey. We see their progress and feel like we're falling behind. But the truth is, comparison is a thief. It doesn't just steal your time, it steals your peace, your focus, and your belief in yourself. The more you compare, the less you create. You start living to impress instead of express. You start chasing validation instead of vision. And slowly, your dreams fade into background noise while you stare at someone else living theirs. Every second spent comparing is a second stolen from creation. While you're scrolling through someone else's achievements, they're out there building their next one. Comparison tricks you into thinking you're not enough, that your pace is too slow, your work too small, your story too ordinary. But what you don't see are the years of failure, doubt, and struggle behind every success story. You see the trophies, not the training. You see the results, not the rejections. And when you measure your beginning against someone else's middle, you'll always feel like you're losing. The truth, you're not behind. You're just distracted. Your time will come, but only if you stop wasting it looking at someone else's clock. No one ever created anything remarkable by copying others. The greatest inventions, the best songs, the most powerful movements, they were born from originality, not imitation. Creation requires courage. It demands that you trust your own voice, even when it's shaky. Comparison silences that voice. It tells you you're not good enough to start, not talented enough to stand out, not experienced enough to succeed. But you don't need to be the best to begin. You just need to begin. The people you admire today once stood exactly where you are now, unsure, inexperienced, and afraid. The difference, they created anyway. They didn't wait for validation. They gave themselves permission to start. That's what true creators do. They act while others overthink. Comparison also poisons gratitude. You stop seeing what you have because you're too busy staring at what others do. You forget that what you have right now, the skills, the opportunities, the dreams, are things someone else is praying for. Gratitude fuels growth. When you're thankful, you attract more reasons to be thankful. But when you compare, you push those blessings away. You can't grow from a place of envy. You grow from a place of appreciation. Look at your journey, your struggles, your lessons, your scars. They're shaping a story that's uniquely yours. No one can live it, copy it, or replace it. And that's your advantage. Your difference is your power, but you can't use it if you're too busy trying to be like everyone else. The irony of comparison is that it feels like progress. You tell yourself you're researching, analyzing, getting inspired. But often, it's just procrastination wearing a disguise. The more you compare, the less you act. You start building castles in your mind instead of foundations in reality. Creation, on the other hand, is messy, imperfect, and real. It doesn't always look good, but it gets you somewhere. You learn by doing, not by watching. You grow by building, not by scrolling. If you want to change your life, stop studying other people's paths and start walking your own. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need a bold start. While everyone else is busy watching, you'll be the one building. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your originality. It needs your story, your ideas, your voice. The things you think make you different are the exact things that will make you stand out. Every person who ever made a difference was once told they were weird, wrong, or unrealistic. But they didn't compare. They created. They didn't care about fitting in because they were focused on standing out. And that's what you must do. Don't aim to be better than others. Aim to be better than who you were yesterday. Compete with your past, not with other people's present. Your only real competition is the version of yourself that wasted yesterday. Beat that person, and you'll win every single day. Comparison also kills creativity. When you're too busy watching what others are doing, you start doubting your own ideas. You start editing yourself before you even begin. But creativity doesn't grow in doubt. It grows in freedom. Freedom to experiment, to fail, to try again. Creation requires vulnerability. You have to be brave enough to make something imperfect, knowing people might judge. But that's the price of progress. The critics are always loud, but remember, critics watch, creators work. While others are talking, keep building. The world doesn't remember those who judged, it remembers those who created. So every time you feel that pull to compare, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me build my future or just wasting my present? You'll quickly realize how much energy you lose to envy. That same energy could have been used to create something incredible. A video, a business, a skill, a habit, something that moves you closer to your goals. You can't control what others do, but you can control what you build. The day you stop measuring your life against others is the day you truly start living. When you focus on creating instead of comparing, life becomes lighter, progress becomes faster, and success becomes inevitable. Because the truth is simple. You can't scroll your way to greatness. You have to create your way there. Every dream begins the same way. With a thought, a spark, a small voice inside that says, maybe I can. But for most people, that spark fades before it becomes a flame. They say, one day I'll start. And that one day never comes. Life passes quietly while they wait for the perfect moment. A moment that doesn't exist. The truth is, there are only two kinds of people in this world, those who wait for one day and those who decide this is day one. One lives in hope, the other lives in action. The difference between them is not luck, not opportunity, not timing. It's decision. Your future doesn't begin when conditions are perfect. It begins when you decide that today is enough. Waiting feels safe. It gives you the illusion of control. You tell yourself you're planning, preparing, researching. But in reality, you're just delaying. You convince yourself you need more time, more money, more confidence. But deep down, you know what's really stopping you isn't the lack of resources. It's the lack of resolve. The ones who win are never the ones who waited. They're the ones who started when they were scared, broke, or unready. They didn't wait for the right time. They made the time right. Because if you wait until you're ready, you'll wait your whole life. Readiness doesn't come before action. It's born through it. Every master once started as a beginner who decided that day, one was better than one day. Think about all the people who once said, one day I'll do it. One day I'll start the business. One day I'll get in shape. One day I'll follow my dream. Where are they now? Most are still saying the same words years later with less belief than before, because the more you delay, the weaker your dream becomes. Time doesn't protect your vision. It fades it. Every day you postpone your goals, they grow further away. You think you're standing still, but in reality you're falling behind. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin. Fear grows stronger, doubt grows louder, excuses grow smarter, and before you know it, own day becomes never. The most dangerous word in the world is later, because later kills more dreams than failure ever will. The people who choose day one understand something powerful, that momentum matters more than perfection. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the first step. That first step might be small, clumsy, uncertain, but it's movement. And movement creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates success. The hardest part of any journey is not the middle. It's the beginning. That's where most people quit, not because they can't continue, but because they never truly start. The first step is heavy because it carries the weight of all your doubts. But once you take it, every step after becomes lighter. You stop thinking, what if I fail? And start realizing, what if I fly? One of the greatest lies people tell themselves is that they have time. They think they can start later, that tomorrow will somehow be easier. But tomorrow doesn't come with fewer problems. It comes with more distractions. The perfect time to start will never appear, because life will always be messy. You'll always be busy. You'll always have something to deal with. That's why success belongs to the ones who start despite the chaos. They don't wait for motivation. They act out of discipline. They don't need guarantees. They build faith through effort. Every great story begins with an imperfect start. The courage to begin imperfectly is what separates those who live their dreams from those who only talk about them. And yes, starting is scary. It means leaving the comfort of certainty. It means facing the fear of judgment, rejection, and failure. But what's scarier is the thought of reaching the end of your life knowing you never tried. Fear is temporary. Regret is forever. You can always recover from a mistake, but you can never recover from the time you didn't use. The pain of effort lasts minutes. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. Don't let fear of failure stop you. Let fear of regret push you. The truth is, you'll never know how strong, talented, or capable you are until you start moving. You can study the path forever, but the path only reveals itself when you take the first step. So what if you fall? So what if it's not perfect? Everyone falls. Everyone fails. That's how you learn. The point of day one isn't to be flawless. It's to begin. Because once you begin, you have something to improve. You can't fix what doesn't exist. You can't refine what you never start. Every success story you know began with someone deciding to take action before they felt ready. They made mistakes. They learned. They adjusted. But they started. That's the secret. Day one is not about being the best. It's about being brave enough to begin. And once you begin, you've already done what most people never do. One day or day one. That choice defines your life. It's not about luck, intelligence, or opportunity. It's about courage, consistency, and decision. You can spend your life waiting for the right moment, or you can spend it creating the right moment. But remember, Every dream you delay is one more day you live without it. The calendar keeps turning whether you act or not. So why not start now? Why not make today your day one? Because one day you'll either say, I wish I started, or I'm glad I did. And that difference begins with one decision. This is day one. Time doesn't stop for anyone. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't pause when you're afraid. And it doesn't rewind when you regret. Every second that passes is a piece of your life, gone forever. You can't buy it back, you can't borrow more, and you can't negotiate with it. Time is the most valuable currency you'll ever own, and every moment you waste is a piece of your destiny that will never return. So the question isn't, do you have time? The question is, what are you doing with it? Look back at your life for a moment. How many dreams did you delay because you were waiting for the right time? How many chances did you ignore because you were afraid of failure? How many times did you say later, and later never came? Every later became a lost opportunity. Every hesitation became another step away from the life you could have built. The truth is, your future isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's being created right now, in this very moment, by the choices you make or refuse to make. You want change, then stop talking about it. Stop scrolling, stop comparing, stop wishing, and start doing. Success doesn't come to the ones who think about it. It comes to the ones who move toward it, even when they're scared, even when they're tired, even when no one believes in them. Silent moves, that's where real power lies. Let the world see your results, not your excuses. Let your work speak louder than your words, because time respects only those who respect it back. Every hour you waste is a seed you never plant. And every seed you don't plant is a future you'll never see grow. Life doesn't give second chances to the ones who keep waiting. It rewards the ones who start now. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need permission. You don't need everything figured out. You just need one decision to begin. To say, this is my time. This is my day one. Because if not now, when? If not you, who? One day you'll look back, and the only question that will matter is this: did you use your time or did you waste it? Don't let your story be filled with what ifs, maybes. Let it be filled with results. Let it be filled with the proof that you didn't just exist, you lived, you took risks, you worked hard, you made your silent moves. And when the world doubted you, you kept going. So stand up, take that first step, stop waiting, stop doubting, stop wasting your time. Because this is your moment. This is your day one. And the world is waiting to see what you can do when you finally decide that your time starts now.